Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pot Squatch Growers live stream on Wednesday. Yes, it's another wonderful day here at Pot Squatch Growers. I wonder why my blue screen's being weird there. I've got a feeling that it's the weird light that's coming in from outside. There we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We might have Gazzers join us on the show today. Originally the plan was that is very distracting. My God. The original plan was to have Gazzers come on the show today and join us to say hello to everyone and tell a bit about their story. We've actually, as of maybe 3 minutes ago, just put the large mixer pack live on the store. That is awfully distracting. My goodness gracious me. What's wrong with this thing? Bear with me here, everybody. I'm going to check my settings on here to see if I can fix the weird background stuff because that's going to screw with me. No, yeah. There we go. Oh, that's not good. No, that's not good either. There we go, maybe. I don't know. Sorry, everybody. Technical difficulties. Now I'm looking like super glitchy here. Oh, that's trippy. That's creepy. Bear with me, everybody. I'm playing with settings. And we'll get into the show in 2 seconds here. What about right there? There we go. There we go, everybody. That seems to be much happier in general. All right. So, long story short, Gaz tried to call me a bunch last night. I was in a meeting about a film project, so I wasn't able to answer the phone. And simply put, I'm hoping he comes on the show, and we'll be able to have him on the show very soon as long as he messages me. I've got my cell phone ready to go, waiting to see if he'll message me. But we're going to kind of wing it until maybe he will or will not come on the show. But simply put, so on the store now at potsquatchsales.com, everybody. That's right, potsquatchsales.com. We have the banners. There we go. The seeds are all on sale right now at potsquatchsales.com. So we've added the mixer pack. The mixer pack is going to contain 4 different strains. So you've got the 3 that we have posted on the website, plus the F2 that I've created of Gazzers Madness. So that is going to be a total of 40 beans in that package, okay? And that one's going for 100 bones. So that one's 100 bones there. We will be releasing a smaller one that goes out to Miss K, because Miss K, I know, wanted to grab sort of a smaller version of the mixer pack. So we're going to make that after the show, and we'll also release a small mixer pack, which is going to have a total of 20 beans, 5 of each, for those who don't want to, buy a bajillion beans all at once. Is the clarity better now, though, everybody? I'm sorry that it's being so glitchy in the background. I'm not trying to cause anyone a stroke or anything. But I hope it's okay. The video quality there. And it's been good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been working on sort of eliminating crap from the house. So we're on the verge of actually finally bloody getting our grow going and popping our beans. We're going to be growing Galactic Citrus Shiba, as we keep telling you all. We're going to get that going. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited about it. It'll be nice to get back to growing. I won't lie to you. It has really driven me a little crazy not having plants on the go. I miss fucking around with my plants. I miss fucking around with that and making it sexy, growing some weed titties and playing around. What's up, TBN? Hashtag Mr. Talk to Me Nice. Oh, right. We forgot to say hello to everybody. Let's go back to the beginning and we'll say hi to everybody. WB Growers, good to see you. Ganchanani, yo mama, good to see you, baby. What's up, Canagronia? I love that name. So much fun. What's up, Wait Now? Good to see you, buddy. All right. What's happening, Sean and Sheila Denny? Good to see you. Matt Buddy, good to see you, buddy. What's up, Texas Squatch? Good in the hood. Good to see you, bud. Jansen Dennis, good to see you. Kenneth R. Knox, good to see you. All right, Jason A, what's happening, buddy? Walter Weissman, good to see you, my friend. Jason A, what's up? Wonky Donkey, good to see you. Miss K's Garden, good to see you. Saul Stanley, Tom Dobbs, good to see you both. Crazy Train, what's up? What's the good in the hood? Ads Factor, good to see you. Roman Reckless, hi. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Daleski OG, what's happening, baby? Good to see you. If I missed anybody, Tom Dobbs, Uncle Dunk, Tommy D, what's up? All right, welcome to the show, everybody. So long story short, it's a good time. And you always had a big grow on. Yes, I normally did, Tom. Tom, obviously, you may have missed out on the recent developments in the last year and a half of my life. Went through separation. I'm not getting married next month. Dottie's gone. I am here. I've got sole custody of the dogs. And one of the hard things that has been going on is trying to accommodate an entire giant house's worth of crap into a very small space. That's one of the things we've been working here, trying to get it going. So I'm basically, I was gonna get a storage locker. I've decided to screw the storage locker. We're just gonna sell a bunch of shit and throw a bunch of shit out. So I'm gonna be selling the generator. I'm going to be selling a bunch of other stuff. If anybody out there wants to buy 1952 Hammond M2 organ signed by David Stone from the band Rainbow, let me know. We're going to be selling all that shit. I'm selling my other car. The caddy died, so I went and bought a brand new Cadillac. Everything's good and on the up and up here in Potsquatchville. And but it's going to be good. I'm pretty excited. I meant to shoot last Thursday. That hash video didn't happen. There's just still too much crap in the house for me to make that video. But we're on the verge of actually getting the educational videos, the grows going again, the review videos going again, and doing all of that. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm still trying to figure out how to accommodate working sort of this crazy schedule of working full-time or more than full-time at the golf club, all the while trying to do everything at home. But it's okay. We are figuring it out and we're getting there. What's happening, Buzzkill Willis? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the show. But the good thing is, seeds are up at least. We got that done this week. We finally got the big mixer pack and the small mixer pack on there. The big mixer pack and the K-Town Kush on there. The small mixer pack we will release after the show. That's at you there, Miss K. So we can have the smaller version for you that is available. Hell yeah, DBN, hashtag Mr. Talk to Me Nice. What new genetics have you brought in to play with, my friend? No, me too, Jason A. We're going to be growing out that Galactic Citrus Shiva. And it's going to be fun. Like I'm really looking forward to, because we briefly had some seedlings going, but we really weren't set up to kind of get another grow going right away. So for this next grow, we only really grew them to seedling phase. Then I was like, this is not going to work. We're not ready to do this grow. But the uniformity that was in that Galactic Citrus Shiva was absolutely huge. They were just all super sexy and super indicated and exactly what I was looking for in terms of that cross. So I'm really looking forward to kind of getting that going and playing with it for everybody to watch. And it will be fun. Bear with me here. I'm going to see if Gassers has messaged us. Let's try messaging the Gas. Nope. Yo. He's away from his computer, but we'll make it work. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a good week themselves here. Let's do a vote here. Let's have a fun vote. Out of the old school genetics that we're going to be releasing. So there's a bunch of different things. I'll give you a few options of something that you might want to see us grow out first. Green Goblin, Sat. That's a normal old school one that is a lot of fun. Lemon Tie. There's another one we could play around with if you're into it. These are all Sats. Well, let's give you some more indica leaning things. We've got a Master Kush. No, that's a lie. It's a Northern Lights by Pink Kush. We could do that one as well. What time is it in New Zealand? He's probably sleeping, bro. No, it's early in the morning there, but he should be awake. He was on earlier. Like I saw him on the thing. And he was trying to call me last night, sadly. Miss K's Garden's like, I know you got skunk, and I want you to grow out skunk. Uncle Dunk is rolling some big bug. I'm assuming you meant big bud. All right. Hell yeah, Antonio Romero. I love it, my friend. I hope she is a dank, tasty weed today. What do I think of wedding cake? I am not a fan of wedding cake. It's another one of those strains that are, I think, vastly overrated in terms of the new modern day world of genetics. So, I mean, it's not a bad strain. Like, I mean, again, it's like Girl Scout cookies. It's got good uniformity, good flower structure. I just find it in terms of both flavor profile and its quote unquote hittability underwhelming. It's not something that gets me sort of into a nice haze or a nice good stone. It's just sort of underwhelming. Uncle Doug says, no, it's literally called bug, or I don't even know how to say that. Bug. It's new here. All right. I've never heard of it, but hey, I hope it's tasty. All right. But yeah, wedding cake's not really for me, everybody. I mean, it's not really my favorite thing they had to grow. Jason A says Gorilla Glue number 4. I don't like Gorilla Glue number 4. I do have Gorilla Glues in my sort of collection there, but I'm not a big fan of Gorilla Glue. I find it very, very fragile. It herms instantaneously, and it's not really what I would call a positive thing. Saul Stanley, are we going to have feminized seeds? Maybe once in a blue moon, but I'm against feminization. That is why we are making beans in large packs, making them cheap, making them affordable, so that it's pronounced buh. Oh, okay. Thank you, Uncle Dunk. So long story short, I don't like feminized beans. Feminized beans are a big part of what's actually destroying modern day genetics. And I don't want to contribute to 20 years of bad practice of breeders making a sort of emergency mechanism in the plant our commonplace utilization for breeding. So no, maybe once in a blue moon, we might do a limited release of a feminized run of something for everybody, but I'm not into feminization. I don't like feminized beans, so we will not be releasing those typically. Regular beans, learn how to sex your plants. Also, you should have the ability to make your own seeds at home. So yeah, probably not a lot though, Saul Stanley, and I'm sorry. But, you know, at the end of the day, anyone who's really into feminized beans, you got to get away from that. You got to realize what it is perpetuating within our own industry and try your darndest to stay away from feminized beans. Mudswat, it's called Galactic Citrus Shiva, not Shiva, but Shiva. It is a wonderful, fun strain, and I'm excited. What's up, Cadillac Jack G? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the house. Oh, by the way, Cadillac Jack, I just bought a brand new Cadillac. I picked up a CT4 sports sedan, Raven black interior. It's weird. At first, I felt strange about buying a Cadillac with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, but then I drove it, and then I was like, no, this is good. The red Mexican, I just don't want to buy the same amount of beans for the same price of feminized. Well, one, you shouldn't buy feminized. They're not good. Feminized are literally asking your plants to herm. That's literally how they were made. They were force hermed. Also, our beans are vastly more affordable than anyone else in the game. Our beans come in 25 packs. Or the mixer pack, which is 40 beans. We're only charging $75 for a 25 pack. Most companies out there are going to charge you $75 to $200 for 10 or less beans. So that's how we're making it affordable. Don't be intimidated by regular beans, everybody. And the fact is, you get a couple of males, it's okay. It comes with 25 fucking beans in it. It's good to go. So I feel you. Dalesky OG says, you know what's crazy? I've been growing for 8 years. Pretty much everything from seed. I've never used a timer, so I do it manually when my alarm goes off on my phone, but I've never got herms or seen one. You know, and Dalesky, that means you're growing some really old school good stock. I mean, I hadn't really seen regular beans herm much either in my early parts of my career. It was only in later days, in these modern day times, where herming comes out all of the bloody time. That guy channel 2, Hindu Kush is a good strain. Hell yeah, it's a very diverse strain too. There's a lot of different versions of it out there. We utilized an orange Hindu Kush, which is actually a lot different than a lot of the Hindu Kushes in the past that I've played with. And at the end of the day, this one has a lot of strong citrus notes and some beautiful things for that. You know what I mean? OG Kush from Josh D cost me $150 for 5 beans. Well, that's fucked. I don't know who Josh D is. I'm Josh D Fletcher. So whoever this other Josh is, he's totally fucked you over. Nobody should be charging $150 for 5 beans. That is daylight robbery. It is absolutely horrible, in my personal opinion. Roman Reckless says, wedding cake has a horrible growth structure. It grows long laterally with floppy stalks and the nodal spacing is far apart with smaller buds, but the buds are very frosty purple and good. Well, that's what I was talking about. I was talking about its structure there, Roman. I was talking about the flower formation. That was the big one for me. But I'm not into wedding cake myself. It costs too much, underwhelming. It's not great. But yeah, so Buzzkill Willis, though, I hope at least the 5 beans you got for $150 were decent anyway. Yeah, hopefully they grew well for you. That is an astonishingly expensive price. But that's part of what we do, right? Like, I mean, anything we release, we try to make it more affordable, right? So we make a good product for everybody, we make it reliable, and it's something that's affordable. At the end of the day, like, I mean, the amount of work that is required to produce a shitload of beans by a breeder is not hard. Okay. So simply put, these people, even on a small plant, are producing anywhere from 1,000 to 7,000 beans to a singular plant. The power requirements, the work going into that. Yes, harvesting beans is a bitch, but that's part of being a breeder and selling beans. Get used to it. If you don't like it, get out of the game. But charging $150 for 5 beans is astonishingly fucked. One of the most expensive times I've ever spent money on beans is I bought a 3-pack of beans for $65, and it was crap. Jason A goes, you want expensive beans, buy from Copycat Genetics. And the funny thing is, Jason A, not only are Copycat Genetics expensive, they're absolute shit. Every person I know who's played with Copycat Genetics, I've got a couple of things from them that came into my possession. I've never actually tried to grow them just because I know where they come from. I have no real interest in playing with them. But everyone I know has experienced absolutely horrible results with growing Copycat Genetics. They're almost as good as Crap King. Crap King, at least, was never overly expensive, but they just sucked. What's up, that guy channel too? Oh man. Well, Mud's what? No, I mean 3 pounds of beans for $150. That's also not cool. I'm in a happy place. Like, I mean, for what we do and what we do working in terms of producing beans, I mean, I think the bean producer deserves to make money too. For example, where we ended up landing on a 25 pack of beans for 75 bones, I think that's pretty good. I think that's not a bad deal. I think that one's all right. Originally when we were going to do it, we're going to try to make them a little bit cheaper, but then, operating costs of keeping our store and everything going it's a little bit higher now with inflation. So we went up from, the original price was going to be maybe like $60. So we raised it to 75. 75, I feel, is still fair, for 25 beans. It's $3 a bean. That's not bad. It's a hell of a lot better than $150 for 5 beans. Order mail. Hey man, I'm a grower. Man, oh, I think you're meaning I'm a grower on Turkey or in Turkey, which is illegal in here. Can you help to work for you? Uh, Order mail. I think I understand what you're saying. Um, Simply put, could you try wording that slightly differently for me so I could try to understand what you're saying? I'm not trying to be rude at all. I would love to answer your question. I'm just not 100% sure what you are saying, my friend, and I'm not trying to be rude. I apologize. What's up, Nancy Neptune? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, my friend. Uncle Dunk, I ain't cheap. 1,000-gallon pots. What? Oh. Are you talking about those big giant kind of fold out, like they're almost like one of those pools that you can like get, you fold it out and use it as a giant planter. They're not cheap and it costs a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, unless you're doing no-till, living soil growing, don't do giant 1,000-gallon pots. There's no point to it. Unless you're doing no-till, that does not work or shouldn't be done. It's just a waste of money. I personally, my happy space, especially when I'm growing on a kind of a more smaller scale, intense, which is what I'm going to be doing going forward on the channel right now. Simply put, because of, well, let's be honest, I'm in a fucking apartment now. 5 gallons is my happy place. 3 to 5 gallons is what I like to do inside for these smaller things. And typically that's what I was doing also for the most part on the channel. I mean, when we had the original lab, we did do some of those bigger ones. We had some 10 gallons, we had some 20-gallon runs, which were always fun too. And it's funny, I don't actually know whatever happened to all of our pots. Like, we had probably 20 10-gallons and 20 20-gallon pots, like really nice ones that were very expensive. I never got any of it back from my ex, but it is what it is. I got to go buy buckets too because we didn't get any of our buckets back. I've got a few planters here that we can use for kind of doing our shit here inside, but I'm gonna have to go get some new buckets there. So we're gonna go down to Canadian Tire and get some new buckets. You know what I'm saying? Um, King Cobra JFS. We will be releasing videos of all of that. There would have been already videos and pictures already done, but sadly, King Cobra JFS, my life fell apart where my ex betrayed me, got me arrested, and then I had a huge legal battle to prove that she was lying. So it took us a little while to kind of get back on our game. So basically, King Cobra JFS, we will be releasing videos of us growing them out right here on this channel very, very soon. If you go to the Pot Squatch Growers community, there were some pictures of the Orange Warrior Widow being grown out by our boy O'Shea there on the group there. He was the first one actually to play with the Orange Warrior Widow and grow it out. As he described that one in his experience with it, it was both citrusy, spicy, and almost kind of garlicky. It was kind of an interesting bitch coming out. But yeah, so King Cobra JFS, stay tuned. We're going to have all of that shit kind of coming out for you very soon. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I wish I had already done it. It's just, well, we came to town with the shirt on our back and then a legal battle. I didn't even have fucking glasses. And then I had to, fight the silly ex there. And I got all the things back and it's good now. So we're kind of getting things back up and running. What's up, WB Growers? Highest five to you as well. Dude, Buzzkill Willis, I'd be totally down to try some Frankenrider. What went into those Frankenrider beans again? Sorry, I'm just reading everyone's messages here. Mudswat, you're not necessarily wrong. I mean, I'd still probably line it with something to kind of keep it that way, but that guy channel too, I love that. The fact that you're utilizing a pool and just said fuck the drainage and just kept it going. I mean, that's a lot of fun. Now, my question is to you, that guy channel too. Did you introduce any microisms? My brain is so fucked today. Like, did we use any microzyme, for example, or did you put in some worms? Did you put in any beneficial organisms or anything like that? Microorganisms, having fun in there. What did you do? Did you do the living soil concept, or did you literally just put a shitload of dirt in there and just say fuck it and grow? That's my question. Buzzkill Willis, Afghan Bull Rider by Freak Show. All right, that sounds fun. Now, my question is here there for you, Buzzkill Willis. Did the Freak Show genetics structurally kind of come into that? Did they come out with those weird fern ass looking leaves or what? Saul Stanley, when do I sort out males? So typically, one, you got to remember, like, even when you see the sex initially showing, they're not going to nut for a while. Okay, it's think about us as males, male humans, right? Just because we have balls, just because our balls drop, they don't necessarily work right away. It takes time for us to develop. So you don't need to panic when you're waiting to see the balls show up on your plants. Sometimes you're gonna have glands that come out and it's hard to sex them at first. I mean, I've seen things that I was sure were males go female in the end and vice versa, right? So there's certain classical things to look out for. For example, the real big thing is when you see that little apricot looking gland and it raises up on a neck in and of itself and raises out of the actual branch itself. Okay, that's a good sign that that is a male. Female glands are never going to raise up on a stalk like that. But typically, I usually try to sex my plants before transplant. So I like to grow and overgrow and root lock my plants in their initial original sort of starter cups. I, call it simple, call it old school. I love using solo cups. So basically using an old school solo cup, put some holes in the bottom and letting it root lock until it starts to self cannibalize that first layer or two. That's kind of the way I go. Sometimes they'll sex in those cups. Sometimes you got to transplant to get them to sex, and that's okay too. really at the end of the day, it's about reading your pre-glands, okay, and getting comfortable with looking at pre-gland formations at your nodal intersegments, and that's where you're gonna be able to be more comfortable in general. You know what I mean? Um, to begin to weed them out. And then again, if you're unsure, you can segregate them out if you want, but you don't really need to. You know, you gotta remember, right? It's gonna take time for it to nut, so you don't have to worry about that too much. Life once lived. You top or train before you know if they are male or female. Sometimes, yeah. I'll top things fairly early. I don't do too much training until they get to at least a sort of a 12-inch kind of a stature. Might do a bit of topping or here or there, but usually, like, I'm a big fan of actually doing a high stress training where I'm actually snapping straight up the tops of my plants or knuckling them. Some would call that super cropping. And I'll usually do that on the main stalk of the formation, unless it's naturally very bushy on its own. I'm going to snap that out and let that go. And once that settles in and we watch that secondary growth kind of take off and catch up, that's when I'm going to kind of go through. I'm going to selectively prune. I might tie down things down. I might change it around, but I do everything a little different every time. Like, I like to play around with the way I approach my grows. And that is also very true. Roman Reckless, you are not wrong. For example, when we were growing with that Kai Tungata by Canadian White Russian, the males that came out of that strain, the amount of pollen was ridiculous that came out of those male plants. Where other males, you know, like, even if you shake them hardcore, just a little bit of pollen, just a little bit of pollen's going to come out. Where other ones are just, you know, straight up bukkake everywhere. You know, it's bad. Hey, Tony Clifton, that is one of our earlier videos. It's called Poor Man's Cloning or Poor Man's Ghetto Cloning. Is We did a video on that where we were cloning just using straight up tap water, and it does work. It's the fact is you don't need rooting hormone to have cannabis root itself. It is a wonderful plant, and some strains will do it better than others. Some strains just want to live, and they'll throw roots really quickly, very easily. Other plants, you do need sometimes a little bit of a rooting hormone to get that action going on. But yeah, Tony Clifton. No, yeah, all you need is water. It's one of our older videos that we made. Poor man's cloning or ghetto cloning. Oh, I can't wait to see it, Daleski OG. And we're also going to be developing kind of one of this. What's bukkake? Do they sell that at a grocery store? Oh, BMK. It's a porno reference, and you and I both know you know. But we're going to be releasing a bunch of older strains as well, too. We're going to call it, I'm assuming, the old school line, or we'll call it something. I'll come up with some cheeky name for it, for fuck's sakes, but it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a bunch of fun old school things. We're going to be releasing old school skunk. We're going to be doing Northern Lights. We're going to be doing some old school crosses. One cross that I would love to do, and originally I was going to do it with in partnership actually with Gazzers, was he had a Master Kush by Trainwreck, and I've got an OG Kush by Trainwreck, and we were going to cross those together. But sadly, with the police raiding them, those beans are, to my understanding now, completely gone. Is that like Snickle Fritz? Roman Reckless, yes. Good Pineapple Express reference. And Tony Clifton, you are correct. Some strains are extremely fickle. This is very, very, very true. Well, exactly. And so I think you're actually both saying the same thing, though, oddly, Mudswat and Roman Reckless. The fact is what we're talking about is the term a pollen chucker. What does a pollen chucker reference? Well, it's basically just having a male nut all over things. You produce beans, then you go, oh, I'm a breeder. Properly breeding stuff and actually working with things is where we grow out, we pheno hunt, we find our favorite plants, the special plants. We select very carefully what we're going to work with. And then we create this beautiful pheno and this beautiful pheno, and we find them, we identify them, and then we make them fuck. And then we then continue to selectively inbreed these then therefore strains to stabilize them. What does stabilizing mean? Well, what we're doing is we're selectively removing undesirable genetic traits that we see. And it takes many generations to properly sort of stabilize something. A lot of people say, who are in the know, maybe a cubing is sort of the bare minimum. That would be 4 generations of stability. I would say that's probably a safe place to be in terms of that. But the further you go, the more stable it often will become. So in a perfect world, if I could slow down time and do everything for everyone, I'd love to not ever release anything until it was at least an F6 or an F8. But fuck it. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to get things letting out there and having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a lot of fun with that one. So, fuck it. You know what I mean? That's where, as we evolve our genetic line, as we evolve things, we're just going to release it to you. We're never going to lie to you. We're going to tell you where we're at with this or that. I mean, the one thing I do like about F1 crosses is it's kind of fun to see the huge plethora of different phenotype options that come out of this plant. Mudswat, don't worry. I mean, I am working on it. There's a bunch of guys out there that are doing the same things. There will be a lot of old school things coming out. Tony Clifton's like, I got an F1 that is from a blueberry crossed by a lemon haze. That sounds interesting, to be fair. I mean, I'm assuming it's a blueberry indica that you crossed into a lemon haze. I mean, you're going to get kind of a plethora of 2 different options. I would guess that you're going to have some that go structurally indica, some that go structurally sat. I think it'd be interesting because you might even get something that would be like, for example, a structural sat, but that is going to have a taste and a flavor and a hit, though, to that blueberry indica. Saul Stanley says, what kind of nutrients do I use? I'm a Green Planet guy. So I'm very much into utilizing Green Planet. Green Planet is my happy place. It is the genetic or the nutrient line that I find works best for a plethora of genetics. It gives you adaptability. My plants love it. I remember when I switched years ago to utilizing Green Planet nutrient-based systems, and they were just wonderful. Well, hey, Roman, I mean, that's very fair of you. I mean, I personally will be critical of someone who's a pollen chucker calling themselves a breeder because they're 2 different things. I mean, the concept of pollen chucking isn't a bad thing in one sense. And the fact is you're just producing general seed, right? The whole point is we're not trying to produce a specific strain or this or that. What we're doing is we're just producing seed to make sure we have seed going forward. So that in and of itself isn't a bad thing. But when you're marketing genetics and developing genetics, one should over time, even if it's just an F1 initial cross you're doing, select what you're working with. Be careful, be mindful, test things out, figure all of that, and then let it go. Saul Stanley, the 2-part system? No, I use their 3-part system. So the 2-part system for me, I find limits my options a little bit too much. I know that Green Planet has a 2-part system that is very popular to people. I tend to lean to their old school 3-part system, and that's sort of my happy place. Well, see, Daleski OG. I'm not gonna, one second, I'm gonna grab a beer. I'm not gonna judge you for using Miracle-Gro. And the fact with Miracle-Gro has never been that it doesn't work. The problem with Miracle-Gro is, one, it's typically has a lot of very heavy, slow release salt-based nutrients. What does that mean? You can never achieve a proper flush. You can never have a proper finish with it. And a big problem with Miracle-Gro isn't necessarily what it is. It's about who owns it. It's about the people and the fact that when you work with Miracle-Gro, you are then engaging by feeding money into the corporate mechanism, which is associated with Monsanto and all of these dangerous, dangerous things. Monsanto is the devil, okay? We are supporting conglomerations that are trying to not only destroy food, they're trying to destroy the cannabis industry. They're trying to patent genetics. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. They're trying to rob the people of what is rightfully theirs. So it's not so much necessarily that we don't use Miracle-Gro because it doesn't work. It's because we're being conscientious to whom we're supporting. One second here. I'm just reading. I would agree with you, Roman Reckless. I mean, that's a safe place to sort of take a stance on it. But I definitely would say, though, that like with different crosses over the years that I've done, like, I mean, those scales will completely shift on certain crosses. You know what I mean? Yeah, and Saul Stanley, part of the problem with Miracle-Gro, and it never flushes, right? It's just because of those slow release nutrients. Because Miracle-Gro, in terms of its conceptual idea for most of their potting mixes or potting soils, okay, it's meant for someone that doesn't have to think that hard. They don't have to work that hard. They don't have to like attend to their garden very often, right? So that's why they've got these really slow release nutrients based into it that it's pretty hard to fuck something up in a basic sense. And that's sort of the ideal with Miracle-Gro. But at the end of the day, I don't think any of us are here to just sort of grow lazily. Like, I mean, you don't become a grower and become passionate about growing cannabis if you're not willing to do a little bit of work. Growing weed is easy. Growing good weed or great weed is very hard, and it takes a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely down to try new things. Life once lived. I mean, I'm just a really big fan of Green Planet. It's also a local nutrient line from here in Canada. It's produced in BC. It's produced just down the way in Surrey is their main production facility, if I'm remembering correctly. So for me, like I like to support local. I like to support Canadian business if I can. So that was part of the where I switched to them, and then my plants love it, and it's very hard to burn your plants with the basic 3-part system. I mean, I use a lot of their other products and intermix it in. A lot of people see how I mix my nutrients and how I hit my plants sometimes, and they get a little scared. But it is very forgiving. It is vastly more forgiving than other products out there, where it has everything you need to feed your plants. It's not super, super hot in terms of burning our roots, right? So, I'm happy with the Green Planet. That's funny. I have a real bad stigmatism. Laugh my fucking ass off. I have bad stigmatisms in my eyeballs too. Oh, sorry about that. Life once lived. I thought you were talking to me. Jansen Dennis, what about Remo's nutrients? Remo's nutrients are okay. They're okay. Again, I find they run very hot. So you've got to be very, very careful with Remo's newts. They are they're asking for an inadvertent burn if you're not paying eerily close attention to your plants. So Remo's not bad. I know Remo. I've met Remo. One of my coworkers, even personal friends with him, and all the time. And he's a dude. He's done a lot for the industry. He's a big name in Canada for what he does. But if I have a choice, if I'm going to spend my money on something, I will not be spending my money on Remo's nutrients. No offense, Remo. Just Green Planet's better. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading Roman here. I'll put Roman's comment up so you can all see here. Roman says, I've been using a local dry organics based nutrients lately. MIGS or Megs County Organics, a 444 veg formulation, and a 395 flower formula. Then I make my own compost, worm castings, and ferment that, and etc. Hey, and that's the way to go if that's what works for you. Nectar of the Gods, very popular. A lot of people use it. I've never actually played with Nectar of the Gods myself. I know people who have. We got to remember out there, everybody, there's 1,001 brands out there, and a lot of them are actually decent. To each their own, right? It's kind of like the old debate, right? Ford trucks, GM trucks, Chevrolet, Dodge, right? They're all trucks. They all do the basic work. They have differences. We all have preferences. Our growing styles will change, and we have different approaches. So certain nutrients will work better for certain growers than other nutrients will work for other growers. And that's just kind of the reality of it, right? There is no necessarily better than the other per se. There's different brands. There's brands that are shit. There's brands that are decent. There's brands that are great. I'm going to put my hat in the corner of Green Planet. I like Green Planet. They have both salt-based nutrients and they have organic options as well. The same could be said for soils, and soil mix is what we pick up. I mean, for me, I'm a Pro Mix guy. I'm a big fan of Pro Mix. I like Pro Mix HP. That's my happy place. I find it a great, affordable, accessible base set of shit to play with that's never going to steer you wrong. Jansen Dennis, good old General Hydroponics. General Hydroponics is owned by Miracle Grow and Monsanto now. That's why I don't use them. I used to use the old school G&H too, Jansen. I was a big fan of General Hydroponics for a long time. I did my early years. I was a big 3-part system from General Hydroponics. But when they got bought out and now with who they're associated to, I steer clear of General Hydroponics now. But that is an ethical choice for me. It's not so much that I don't like the product. It's that I don't like who owns it. And by purchasing it, I'm supporting them. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's one of the things that I struggle with. I can't go G&H anymore. There we go. I'm just playing with the banners here, everybody. One day I'll have someone who actually operates all the technology for me. It'll be great. Eugene Dolan. Yeah, no, I know. Green Planet, it is pretty local here in Canada. I know it is available throughout the States a bit. And they are a smaller company. So when it comes to bringing things in, often the cost of that import, the cost of the duties and this or that is then thrust onto the customer. So I know it's not going to be an option for everyone to access there. You can get some pretty decent deals on Amazon often. But again, I'm going to assume that that's also regionally based, everybody. Like here, let's go on to Amazon right now. I'm going to go on to Amazon. Just pulling up Amazon here. We're going to go on to Amazon and we're going to go and see what's available right now. So we're going to go on to Amazon here and I am searching Green. All right, so I've got access to their Bloom, which is an 054. I've got access to Medi 1, which is a great product. It was originally called Dr. Hornby's Medi 1, but it was bought the recipe from a guy. He was up at UBC, but kind of a weird, likes to hide out in the woods, as it were, and doesn't like the public light. We've got VitaThrive propagation fertilizer, which is basically it's a vitamin booster. We've got their resin products. We've got Green Planet's Dense Bud Compactor. I've never tried that one. It looks like it's a dry amendment of sorts. That's a little pricey. We've got Massive Bloom costing on Amazon $41.88 for a fucking liter. Fuck me in the ass. That is horrible. Don't spend $41.88 on 1 liter of that shit. I've got Massive Bloom formulation in the 4-liter thing in my collection. It is one of the things I use, but it should not cost you that much for a liter. So whitewash, Green Planet's whitewash 1. I'm assuming that is their washing solution. I actually use a different product. I don't use Green Planet's flushing solution if I'm using that. Their Root Builder 1 liter. So everything on here seems to be, for the most part, 1 liter. See, this is where you're going to get fucked. Green Planet, a thing of Green Planet resin, 4 liters is $109.97 on Amazon. Fuck that. I spend like 40 or 50 bucks at the grocery store on that. So that is more than double the price. So I would not encourage anyone to buy the 4 liters off here. Some of the 1 liter prices I'm seeing are not too bad. But Jesus Christ. See, there we go, right here. This is a proper price. Green Planet's nutrient. So this is their bloom from the 3-part system for 4 liters, $29.99. That's an appropriate price. That is okay. I'm okay with that one. 4 liters of Green Planet's liquid weight. That's $37.98. That price is okay too. Right here, we've got a 3-part kit. Here, let's pull this up. It's $139.99. They're charging you like $30 for delivery, which is silly, but what comes with it? So you've got 3-part base system. It also comes with a PK spike, which is great for flour. It comes with resin and the VitaThrive solution. But it is saying they're 0.5 liters. Wow. So you're charging people $140 fucking dollars for half-liter bottles? Fuck. You won't even get through a grow of a few plants with that. So be mindful of the pricing, everybody. But I mean, it is available. And some of these prices I'm seeing, frankly, on Amazon are astonishingly expensive. I would say go on your local, look for your local grocery stores and see what they've got. You know what I mean? Hey, Miss K's Garden, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you very soon, my friend. And I will get that small mixer pack up there just for you, okay? Ooh, wonderful, Buzzkill Willis. I'll pull that up on my phone here. How do I feel about advanced nutrients? Again, advanced nutrients are great. They are very pricey for what they are. I would say Green Planet is a better option over advanced. I think my resistance to advanced is twofold. One, it's very popular. I don't like things that are overly popular sometimes. And two, it's just really pricey. Like I know how expensive it is, right? So that's part of my issue with it. Um, it's look, if Green Planet didn't exist, I'd probably go with advanced, frankly. But I do think they charge too much for what they're selling. Roman Reckless, I respect the hell out of that. Okay, one second here, everybody. I'm just trying to read everyone's stuff here. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading. I'm just reading, everybody. Bear with me. What the hell is this? My computer's popping shit up over the show, pissing me off. Oh, that's awesome, Mud SWAT. I'm very happy. So, everyone, Mud SWAT is, I'm very proud of my grill this year. It's your highest yield so far. And that's part of the fun. You know what I mean? That's part of the fun of growing is we slowly but surely get better. There's a new Canadian company called Crunk Nutrition. Well, Crunk is a fun name. I like the name at bare minimum. And I'll have to check them out because as I've said in the past, I'm all about supporting local if I can. I'm just switching emails here, everybody. I've got a okay. So here's my question. Where did you send it to? You sent me the picture of the uh, who was that? Sorry, everybody. I'm just trying to read here. Mazuri Sajad, I agree. Proper old school black Afghani style finish. A lot of the hash I make is very similar. It comes out to what I would call sort of like a Frenchy cannoli temple ball style. I love a good, properly made, soft tar looking hash. It is a good smoke. I agree. Who said they sent me pictures? Bloody hell. Buzzkill Willis. Where did you send it? Did you send it to podsquatch420@gmail.com? Because I am not seeing that at the moment. Send it to podsquatch420@gmail.com and I'll be able to show it on the show. Bear with me here. I'm just scrolling up and trying to catch up now. Hippie zombie. I mean, I feel like, for example, most generalized three parts are usually missing a little oomph, and it's not so much they're missing something; they don't give you the adaptability to really tweaking your bases when you become kind of a what I'm going to call an anal retentive grower. I mix a lot of other stuff into my three parts, right? So I love the three parts as a base place to play, but then we're adding other things in. So ProCal from Green Planet, great place to start. And then I usually have a vitamin B supplement. I usually am using different PK boosters. I'm using bud builders. I'm using things that will supercharge my resin productions, right? So like things from Green Planet, I love resin. I love their VitaThrive solution. I love Liquid Weight. I love Massive Bloom. There's a bunch of things they release that I like, and then I'm usually making my own little side things to kind of mix in there. When you dry, do you use a humidifier? Do you mean dehumidifier? No. I will use it. Well, I use a dehumidifier to regulate the relative humidity of my space where I'm drying, but I'm going to sort of set it at to keep a relative humidity of about 55. 55 is my happy place. And it's just there to simply put, regulate the relative humidity of the space. But remember, when we're drying, we don't want to speed dry our plants. That's not what we're trying to do. To get the best, what's up, Blues Man, for you with crack lagging? We want to preserve our terpenes. We want to preserve our cannabinoids. And the way we do that is simply put, we want to elongate that drying window as long as we can without causing issues. And that is really, at the end of the day, where you're going to get these beautiful tasting finishes. So Tony Clifton, you're just being contrarian now. 56% relative humidity is my happy place. All right, well, Tony, I'm sitting at fucking 55. Buzzkill from RR Hotshot. Okay, let's check this Buzzkill Wills. I'm pulling it up now. Checking, maybe it went into spam. No. Trash. No. All mail. I still don't have it there, Buzzkill Wills. I'm going to type the email for you all here. 1 second. Muskoka James, I'm not sure there's a way to dehumidify Ontario right now. I remember, I grew up in Ontario, buddy. I remember how humid it can get. Yeah, no, I remember the humidity. I just had someone in Ontario who's part of our group, and they just basically lost almost all of their plants to bud rot because of the relative humidity of Ontario and their outdoor grows. It was very sad. I felt for them. Muskoka James, it may be you actually that I'm referencing right now if you're in the Facebook group. I felt for you though. Hey, there you go, Jansen. You gotta love that bubble hash. Muskoka James, yes, it is. I thought it was you, Muskoka James. No, it's not. I mean, the big part really at the end of the day, Roman Reckless is I like my drying to be I like 55. 55 is my happy place. I also like to be as cool as possible. So if anything, if I'm in a space where I can actually like chill a room with AC and dry in the cold, that's what I like to do. I find it finishes everything very nicely. Especially too, because you got to remember when you cut your plants down, like they die for the next 3 or 4, 5, sometimes 6 days. Like the cells are still alive when you cut that plant down and they don't just die automatically. You know what I mean? Well, exactly, Muskoka James. I mean, at the end of the day, if you grow indoors, you can kind of control all these variables that might come fuck your growth. And then at the same time, you can use all of the excess heat that these things produce and use it in order to heat your space. Missouri Sajad, fat buds with great aroma. Thick indica strains are also sexy. Critical cheese is definitely one of them. Well, critical cheese isn't a straight indica strain; it's a hybrid, first of all. But you're not wrong. I do love indica strains. I love big fat buds. I love my big bushy bitches, and I like my indicas. I'm an indica man myself, Missouri Sajad. And that's what makes me happy personally. You're not wrong, Roman, but I also feel that like back in the day too, a lot of people were smoking a lot of mold and shit, bro. Like, I mean, I definitely think we've kind of come a little further ahead when it comes to our ability to understand what we're doing and looking at what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like Bud back in the day, you know, I think we all smoked a lot more mold and shit than we cared to admit. No, I totally agree with you, WB growers. Cold does preserve things. That's why I've always chilled my drying when I can. It made me very happy, and that's the way I like to do it. Muskoka James says, Roman, I think strains have lost a lot of their resistance these days, and they have. That's called genetic fragmentation, and it's caused by one, pollen chuckers, two, feminization, three, this weird obsession we have with going after high THC levels while missing out on all of these other attributes that we're looking for when we breed things. There was an old school strain called Bunker Bud here in BC. This thing never grew very tall. They were maybe 2 or 3 feet tall, but they would produce these buds that were the size of footballs or the size of my head, for example. And it was so mold resistant and it was designed in order to grow. And basically, what we would do here in BC is we dig out giant trenches, we'd bury shipping containers. Sometimes, hell, I even know grows that were set up with old train cars and they'd bury them. I've seen ones done with buses and they'd bury this shit underground. And then we were growing underground, what's up, new breed? Peace up to you, my friend. And we needed things that didn't overgrow our space because we have very limited space in these underground kind of bunker grows, and we needed something that was mold resistant. And I will say that Bunker Bud was one of the most mold resistant things I've ever seen. Alvin Mace, hell yeah, I'll give you a shout. Tonight, I won't be able to give you a shout just because I'm actually going to a show tonight. It is a very fun thing here in Vancouver. Tonight, it is opening night, everyone, for The Empire Strips Back. It is a Star Wars parody burlesque show. And so I'm going to that tonight. So I gotta basically once I get out of the show, I gotta shower quickly, get dressed, go meet the girlfriend, go for dinner, and go to the theater to see The Empire Strips Back. Boobies with tassels and Star Wars parody storylines. It'll be a good time. No, you're not wrong, Muskoka James. Like, I mean, things have changed. And that's where, like, dusting off, no pun intended, some of these old genetics that I have in my collection and trying to redo all of that to give an injection of some of these older school genetics to everybody would be wonderful. Oh, sweet. I got it, bro. I got it. Buzzkill Willis, we got it. Here, everybody, I'm just pulling up some pictures here to show you. This is the Frankenrider. Okay, so interesting mix. So the Frankenrider It didn't go full freak show, but it does have aggressive serration on those. It has aggressive serration on those fan leaves, though. Very cool. Here's 22 days of flower on that, putting you at a little over 3 weeks. I was going to say, well, 33 for 3 weeks. The flower's not quite where I'd want to see it. Nice frost though. But at the end of the day, though, I think a big part of that though too is just a lack of light. And I'm not trying to hate on the blurples, by the way. I started with them myself. So nice. That's an interesting looking strain. I love the frost you're achieving on it, my friend. I'm really loving the frost. That's a nice, just even canopy there. I don't know if anyone can see that one there. That's a nice, even canopy there. I like that. Looks nice and healthy, especially that one. I love this one down in the front here. She is looking very happy down at the front there. Loving that, buddy. Can I vape in the theater? Probably not. And BMK, I mean, to be fair, like if you've got a touch of powdery mildew, and if you're in veg especially, you can totally fix that. My number one go-to to fight powdery mildew, fight bugs, fight anything like that is Jake's All-in-One. I'm actually going to be calling Jake. Jake, if you're watching, let me know. We're going to bring Jake's All-in-One back. I'm thinking, because we've only got so much money to bring new products onto the store right now. So I think we might only bring the half-liter bottles in. When we first launched on the store, we brought in half-liter bottles, 1-liter bottles, and the 4-liter bottles. We never sold a single 4-liter bottles. I still have all of them. But the 1 liters and the half-liters we sold a lot of. So I think maybe we'll bring in both. We might just bring in the half-liters, or maybe we'll just bring in the 1 liters. But every grower needs a bottle of Jake's All-in-One in their actual arsenal, their toolbox of shit, shall we say. It kills bugs, it kills PM, it's a foliar feed, it's an immuno booster for your plant. It does everything. And at the end of the day, they're still fighting for the licensing, so they can't advertise what it does, but I can. I don't give a fuck. I can say whatever the fuck I want because I tried the product and I know what it does. So their new creative thing, though, of what they did in terms of the licensing, so they couldn't advertise it like they were when they first came out. So the new slogan is Jake's All-in-One. It does what it does. Gotta love legal jargon, baby. Uh, yeah, Muskoka James, and again, like I feel you. Like, I mean, the problem is Ontario's very humid, right? Um, there's not a lot of great outdoor climates for perfect growth here in Canada. Like, that's just one of the things that's the reality. I think it's a big part of why, especially in BC, where it's really, really wet, why we got so good at growing indoors. I mean, BC is responsible for the indoor cultivation explosion and the development of the late 60s, early 70s when it started. But there's a reason why we got really good at indoor grows, because we don't really have a great climate here in Canada, and most of the parts of Canada to grow wheat outside. Like, it's just not great. If Gaz was here, he could tell you about how in New Zealand they have an amazing outdoor climate. Daleski OG, here's the email for you. Here you go, bud. Oh, I'd definitely I would love to come visit you sometime, Mud's wife. Scott James said, I had 0 powdery mildew this year, just the bud rot. So disappointed. No, I feel you, Muskoka James. I mean, if it's not PM, you'll get hit by bud rot. I mean, this reminds me actually, this it's going back 2 or 3 years now. One of my friends, Sue Ann, she's passed away. She overdosed. She struggled with a very deep-seated cocaine addiction. So God rest you, Sue Ann. Much love to you. But before Sue Ann passed away, she had some plants growing outside, and she didn't know what she was doing. She just grew them. But Muskoka James, you're not wrong. But so Sue Ann was growing this outdoor plant one year, and it was the year where powdery mildew all throughout the Fraser Valley was rampant. Like the spores were everywhere, and they just invaded through and through. So Sue Ann's getting all excited, thinking that her bud is super frosty, and she's like, "Oh, yo, look at my weed! Like I've never seen weed that looks like this. It looks so good." And she's like, "Hey, Pot Squatch, check this out. Look what I'm growing. Look at how good it looks." She sends me a picture of it. And I had to break it to her. I'm like, "Sue Ann, those aren't crystals. Your plant has some of the worst powdery mildew infestation I've ever seen. The PM on your plant is so thick that you can't even see the foliage anymore. You need to kill this, Sue Ann. Do not ever smoke it. Don't eat it. Don't do anything with it. It will make you so beyond sick, it's not even funny. I had never seen a plant hit as bad as this plant went. Like it was like Sue Ann had this plant that was a walking expose to what the worst powdery mildew infestation I'd ever seen on a plant. Oh, Sue Ann, God rest you. But I had to break it to her. I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Sue Ann, but that's fucking just trashed beyond belief. Like, it's so bad, Sue Ann. It's so bad." She's like, "What? Those aren't crystals?" I'm like, "No, no, it's not crystals, Sue Ann. That's fucking powdery mildew." What kind of sickness do you get from powdery mildew? Well, it one makes your lungs extremely sick, leaves you prone to any form of lung cold, influenza, um, pneumonia, etc., bronchitis, and it also will infect your blood. So then you'll get a blood infection where like all of these spores are now propagating via the alveoli of your lungs, so they transition through, and then it just goes all over your body and starts attacking all of your major organs. Like, I mean, it's just bad. Like, just don't do it. Like, it's just so bad. Muskoka James, you're not wrong. Now, mind you, if you got a good potting soil and it starts throwing some magic mushrooms out of there, some shrooms out of it, that doesn't mean it's bad. That just means there's some good mycelium in your soil. Different realities, but yeah, powdery mildew is not a beneficial fungi in any sense. It'll make you really sick, so be so careful if that happens, especially if you're someone who's prone to having weaker lungs. Be so very careful. It is bad. All right, well, everybody, I think it's that time. We're going to wrap the show up. I got to go shower and get ready to go to the theater and see Star Wars boobies with tassels. Luke's a girl and C-3PO has boobs. I'm excited. It's going to be a good show. For those of you who haven't checked it out, if you're curious about what I'm going to see tonight, just go on YouTube and search The Empire Strips Back trailer. And it is, if you're watching the one that you should watch, it's got, that intergalactic song by the Beastie Boys, like, anyway, watch that one. It's blues man for you, it's okay. And I'll regardless of what she did, I'll always love that woman. And I wish nothing but the best for her. And I'm just building my new life, buddy. And I'll be good to go. But thank you very much for your kind words there, blues man. It sucks. It is what it is, living and learning, moving on, growing up. Corsi's Farms, I'm always happy to share the few things I've put into my silly brain over the years, and I'm always happy to help everyone and share what I can. But what am I talking about? I'm wrapping the show up, but that's okay. No worries, Patrick. I mean, we are just wrapping up the show, but we're not quite done yet. But Patrick, welcome to the show. I missed you, buddy. Welcome back. But the store's open. as all of you know, we added two new product lines or two new products to the seed line. So we've got the mixer pack, the big one now. That one is 40 beans. It's got 10 beans of Galactic Citrus Shiva, 10 beans of the Orange Warrior Widow, 10 beans of the K-Town Kush by Cheese by Alien Rift, and it's also got 10 beans of Gazer's Madness F2. No worries, the Quiet Witch. Thank you for tuning in, my sister. And also Buzzkill Willis. I'm going to send you my address right now. One second, everybody. I'm just typing. I'm sure you can see that, but all right. So, Buzzkills Willis, that address has been sent to you. Are they all regular beans? Yes, WB Growers. We are against feminization. We do regular beans here at Pod Squatch Growers. Now, mind you, we might eventually one day do, limited release batches of, femmes here or there. But typically, we do feminized. No, we don't. We do regulars. We like the regular beans. We like the plants to have the PPs and the vajayjays. We like the plant to be able to fuck and make new plants. It's good for the plants. It's not going to degrade the genetics. It's very nice. Oh, no worries, Muskoka James. Buddy, I felt for you when I saw how heartbreaking it was. And like I was commenting, I'm Josh D. Fletcher on Facebook. So, that was me commenting back. And I was like, is it through the whole plant? You're like, I was like, just trim the bud rot back. You'll be okay. And you're like, no, it's through the whole thing. Oh, Daleski, you sent some pictures. Okay, we're gonna pull up these pictures from Daleski, everybody. We're gonna show. Oh, there he is. Ooh, yeah, buddy. You got some nice chunky monkey wheat titties going on there, Daleski. I like that. Nice and frosty. Look at that. Very nice, Dale. Very nice. I like this formation. Nice, good nodal spacing. Good, nice wheat titties. I like it. Oh, look at that. Later in flower and earlier just going into flower. Side by side, sisters standing together. I love it, Dale. Looking fucking gangster, bud. Looking fucking great, bud. Yeah. Muskoka James, hell yeah. Do it up. Do a bonfire out of all that shit, Muskoka. Send smoke signals to everybody. But everybody, check out podsquatchsales.com. That's where you're going to buy not only seeds, rolling papers, grinders, hats, t-shirts, beard oil with CBD, our CBD line. We are sold out of gummies, but we have stickers. We got everything, and we're bringing in more shit. We're going to have Jake's All-in-One coming on the store very soon. Next week, we'll probably be releasing the first release of Autoflower Genetics from Death Trap Genetics, which is our boy Texas Squatch there. We got other stuff that's going to be released on the store. It's all coming to fruition, baby. It's all coming out. It's all going to be available. But for now, you can buy what you can there. And do it up, Muskoka James. I would love to see the bonfire of the weed titties, my friend. But my friends, my family, it's been another good show. I've enjoyed seeing all of you. I'm sorry if my brain felt a little off. I felt a little stupid today, but it's been a very long work week, but it is what it is. And we will be firing up our grows here at Pod Squatch Growers very soon and releasing a lot more educational videos and how-to videos and etc. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff coming up real soon. And that's all coming out too. But we've got the beans, we got the mixer pack. I'm going to log on to the store right now. So the mixer pack will probably go live by, well, the big one's already live, but the small one for Miss K We'll be live by 4:30. We'll say I'll have it ready for 4:30, Miss K. So that'll be up there. I know she's gone, but she'll watch it later and know it's there. My friends, my family, remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Love yourselves, love your plants. And hopefully next week, I'm not so much of an idiot in terms of my brain being in a bit of a fog. I'll see you next week, and we're going to try to get some videos coming out for you real soon. Tell your friends, tell your family, like, subscribe, buy shit on the store if you can. It helps us get things going for you. All right, keep it sexy, baby. Much love. And keep it real. Oh, WB Growers, the autoflower from Death Trap Genetics is going to be schnozberries. It's called schnozberries. I can't actually remember off the top of my head what it is, but Mikey can tell us. And no, his name's Texas Squatch. Sorry. Anyway, but that'll all be coming out. We'll have him on the show to talk about it when we release it next week. And Gazzers, I'm sorry that you didn't make the show. I'm sorry that you didn't get a hold of me last night. I wish you could have been here, but maybe you and Mikey can come on the show next week. All right. We learn more from our mistakes than we learn from our successes. Don't beat yourself up too hard, just enough to learn. All right. I love you. I'll see you next time. I got to go get ready to go see Boobies with Tassels. All right. Bye.